Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders from across the globe. Thank you for sticking around. You've seen some fantastic systems. You've heard from some great traders, and I hope you're getting education while you're here. Because if you ask me, that's our job. We should educate you traders when you come to these webinars. And that's exactly what I've got planned for you today. I am not going to sell you a system. I'm not going to introduce a system to you. I'm not going to tell you that you can purchase anything, because I'm only going to teach you something today. If you like what you see, you can just come down to my live trading room. It's absolutely free. No credit cards are required. This is me waving to you right now. I'm normally in this trading room with traders from around the world. Again, there's no credit cards required. So make sure, if you like what you see here, you come and hang out with me. And I think you will like what you're going to see. So I'm Oscar Carboni. If you don't know me, I've been a trader and an analyst since the early 80s, in 1982. Started on the trading floors in Manhattan and have been there my entire life. Have basically helped the exchanges take point and figure graphing and get it on computers. Then I helped them get trading onto the internet, which basically defuncted my job. And one day, after 25, 30 years of trading on the floor, we were able to go home and trade from elsewhere, but I still do everything I used to do on the trading floor. One of the amazing things about working on the trading floor is this. Everything that gets concocted from all the trading desks out there all over the world, they come up with a plan. They had to come through the trading floor to get that plan executed, which means we got to learn everything about everything in our time down there. There is no better education than somebody who stands in a pit and has to execute all of these crazy strategies that people from Morgan and Goldman and everywhere else come up with. And that is where I grew up. And I promise you, I am very good at what I do. And I'm going to show you some great tips, tricks, and techniques in today's video that I hope will help you move forward. In fact, let's talk about something. I've got the Omni, which is Oscar's Market Navigational Indicator. That is a system that will get you in and out of the markets each day. In fact, that system, just to show you, that system got us short, and let's see, where were we? NASDAQ. That system got us short today in NASDAQ, because when we see a double comp, we sell a double comp. We know that's an adage. I've been yelling that out at you guys for 30 years. The double comp's working. We had a great trade in NASDAQ, just one of the many things that we do here. So what I normally do is I will never ever show the Omni in a live presentation. The Omni does not get boxed up. It does not get put on a shelf. It does not get put on Zoom. The only way you'll ever learn the Omni system is to literally come to Vegas for a 5-night stay here in my home office, where I will teach you my Omni techniques. That is the only place to learn it. That's called Omni Camp. And that's about the only thing I ever offer to anybody. Barring that, you come to my free trading room at livewithoscar.com, and we can hang out with each other, and I can help educate you, show you what's going on with the charts. But if you like this presentation and what you are about to see, then I would like for you to certainly come to livewithoscar.com and join my free trading room. And if you really like what you're going to see and you want to learn this craft, you can come to my Omni Camp, which will happen in March. But we'll talk about that at a future date. This is about teaching you what you should be looking at for the next few weeks or months to help you make money in the markets. So my last webinar, I called it was a class. It wasn't actually something to sell you guys, because I don't do that. I hold classes and I teach. So my last Metastock presentation was called The Geometry of Markets. And I showed you guys what Wall Street uses. And you can see the recording. Metastock recorded it for us. I showed you guys what Wall Street uses to figure out where the markets are going to go next. Then I did another webinar, the one right before this one, and I called it Wall Street Algorithms. And I taught you what Wall Street is looking at. And I told you, write these things down and trade them. And we went through that webinar, and a lot of you contacted me, and you loved the information I gave you in that webinar. Well, today's webinar is going to be called The Retailer's Alternatives to High-Flying NVIDIA. Why? Well, it's no joke that NVIDIA is absolutely 100% positively the major AI stock today, right? But how do you onboard to NVIDIA in this situation when it's a $700-800 stock? So I'm going to show you some really smart tricks and tips that will help you get into the AI era, or the age of AI, without having to spend the type of money you'd have to spend on a high-flying NVIDIA. So well, let's start with this. The big name today, as we just mentioned, is NVIDIA. However, NVIDIA has become too pricey for most retail traders like us to use as an AI onboard ramp, right? So I've been following, here's where it's going to get cool. I've been following a series of stocks and ETFs since way back last October last year. And I think that these ETFs and stocks will absolutely benefit from AI. And in fact, since October, they have been benefiting, and I can't wait. I am going to share this group with you. It is a group that is completely focused on AI and will help you get into the AI market, again, without spending a fortune. Now, many of these focused ETFs I'm going to go over with you, they own shares of each other. They own shares of each other's ETFs, and they seem to zero in on any of the new AI companies that are doing well, that they want to bring out, go public, and put into their ETFs. They're all zeroing in on the same ones. They are a very smart group. This is a smart group that sees AI as the 2024's version of the computer age back in the 80s. Does everyone remember that? Computers came out, was going to end everything in the world, all the jobs were going out the window, and they was just an aid to us humans, right? Then the internet age came out in the 2000s. Then to some extent, we had the crypto age. Now, this is the age of AI, kids. Today's title is The Retailer's Alternatives to High-Flying NVIDIA. Please join my trading room if you like what you're about to see. Let's go take a look at some charts. First thing I want to get out of the way, however, let's get rid of this. First thing I wanted to get out of the way for you is this. We've got a situation taking place in Bitcoin. Now, we'll do this first, then I'm going to get to the AI. So this chart I have been showing my traders in video after video. Each night, by the way, I do a YouTube video. And in that video, it's geared to tell you what should happen the very next day. So I'll do a YouTube video just about every night. And in that video, it sort of starts like this.
Good afternoon, God. Good evening, what do you think about that call last night's video, huh?
So then I will take you through a serious chart segment to show you exactly what I expect the next day. And then I expect my traders to come to my live trading room after that to see us act out the very same charts I put in the night before's video. So I've been using this Bitcoin chart in many videos, and literally when we were down here, I said, traders, get ready. We're about to get a signal. We're coming out of a textbook bull flag. We've got a fantastic average. Get ready for the signal, and it exploded. Well, the same thing was happening in my last few videos. I said, look, there's a new kid in town. There's a new bull flag. Get ready for the explosion. And this is what happened. It totally exploded. Exactly what we expected. Bounced off the average, got above. So Bitcoin and Ethereum, just to start off with those two right away, and then we'll change out. Ethereum is running in sympathy with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is absolutely going. We've got a target of 85,000. It will get there. So I wanted you to at least see that before I get involved in the AI webinar. So in my last webinar to Metastock, I spent most of the webinar explaining geometry in the markets and how to use something called the 21 bar, or a algorithm that Wall Street is using. So in that algorithm, or in that last video, I would say to you, listen, you're going to use this 20 bar average. Wall Street's using it. Look at how it worked, and that worked really well. But this video is going to be different. This one is going to be a grouping that I've put together that I think you're going to love. So let's go here. Let's take a look at the big guy first, because everybody knows how expensive NVIDIA has gotten and how difficult it is to get into this market. Now, in my last webinar, I basically said, guys, you've got the 21 bar moving average. It is your ticket. When it hits that average, buy it. And it's exactly what happened over here. After the video, we went right to that spot. The average worked. Okay, that was the stuff I was showing in the last video. In this video, I'm going to do something different. Forget about that tip. We're not even going to worry about averages and algorithms in this video. This video is about this. The new tip for you is this. If you can't afford NVIDIA, there are other alternatives to enter into the AI revolution, and I want to show them to you now. So if you can't afford a $790 stock, maybe you can afford this one. Check this out. Now, I've been following this since last October, since down here. This is called AIQ. It's AIQ.O for Metastock. Look at how Wall Street has attached. They just attached the 27-bar algorithm to this AI play. It's the Global X AI Technology ETF. So Omni's been following this since back here, really got interested in it back here. This play has been fantastic, and you can see that Wall Street is just keying off of this average. I like this little gem. I think if you cannot get into NVIDIA, you should take AIQ, but I've got a whole grouping for you, so write these down. This whole lesson is going to be about this grouping because I love this grouping, and I think we can all make money with this. Now, it is working off the 27-bar algorithm. Every time it gets near that 27-bar average, they come in and buy. Now, you want to see what's interesting? It goes back forever. It just works forever. It just worked and worked and worked. So Wall Street is killing it using these AI plays, or ETFs, if you will, these technology ETFs, that I've done the research to see that AI and these companies work together. So these companies will benefit from AI. And since I've been following, it has been working. So I want you to take a look at the AIQ for yourselves. Maybe you'll put together a little index, if you will, of these AI companies and see, or these ETFs and stocks that I've been presenting today, and see if you want to create a little portfolio for yourselves. It's why I put this together. I think it makes a smart portfolio. So AIQ looks fantastic. You can see Wall Street is absolutely king off the 27-bar algo. They're all over it. And it's been skyrocketing, but the price is only $33. You can afford this one, right? Let's go look at another. There's another ETF called BOTZ, BOTZ, BOTZ.O for Metastock. Once again, the same type of algorithm is being used. Wall Street is jumping all over this stock whenever it gets to that algorithm or average. Look at it. Look at how well they just attack the market. If it gets under, they're sellers. Gets above, they're buyers. Forget all of that. We're not going to worry about the algorithm. This is making money from AI. Look at the stock. It's gone crazy. Another $30.73 alternative to getting yourself into NVIDIA. So the most important thing happening in the world right now is AI, and that's why I brought you this lesson in AI today. And I'm going to show you some other great stocks that I hope you will be able to use moving forward. Take a look at this one called BUZ, another fantastic stock, another fantastic algorithm wrapped around the stock. This is an ETF, not a stock. It's an AI play called BUZ, BUZ.K on Metastock. It's a VanEck ETF. I don't care who owns the ETFs. I don't care what they have in them, as long as they've got AI, if they're moving in the same direction that I had mapped out for them. This is the grouping that I want to play with. So once again, we're not really even caring about the algorithm they're using, because we only care about one thing in this environment. You care about the fact that it's moving up. I was going to draw an arrow. It won't let me draw an arrow. So all we care about is the fact that this guy is moving up. It's an AI play, and it's only $19. Another play you guys can get into. As I mentioned, this video is going to be nothing more than me showing you some great stuff that you should be able to make money with going forward. If you can't afford a high-flying NVIDIA, I'm going to give you 5, maybe 10 alternatives. All of these I've checked out myself, have been doing really, really well. And out of 30 of them, I've kept these. I started with 30 of them last October. I'm down to about 10. I'll share those 10 with you. Next, you've got the IQM. Look at this bad boy. It's the Intelligent Machines ETF. Once again, it is AI-based. It's another alternative to getting into the AI revolution. Now, are we day trading stocks like this? Absolutely not. Look at how ugly the stock is. It's such a mess. It jumps all over the place. So this is not for day trading, but since Omni back here has gotten involved and started tracking, the stock has done really, really well, or this ETF has done well. Why? Because AI has done really well. Now, NVIDIA just really exploded recently, but these stocks have been going up steadily all along. So they're good ETFs and or stocks, depending upon what pops up on the screen, for you to put together as an AI portfolio so that you can catch this big AI move that's taking place. Remember, way back, you don't remember any of this, but there was a typewriter raise. The electric typewriter came out. That was changing the world, and there was a whole market move based on that electric typewriter. Then in the 80s, the computers came out. Remember, the market moved based on that. To an extent, you had crypto, right? And crypto had a move. The internet, remember how long that one ran for? Well, this is the same thing. It's called the AI revolution. In fact, this chart was put in front of you at least 3 webinars ago. And I wrote that very note, welcome to the AI revolution, on it. Because I saw it coming, like I see the internet revolution coming, like the computer revolution. How do I see it? The charts show it to you. You just have to pay attention. So I want to make sure that you are part of the AI revolution. I've been harping on this for the last 3 webinars for at least almost a year now. So let's go back to where we were. And I believe that's the IQM. And that's a Franklin Fund ETF, by the way, totally trustworthy. Let's go pull another. So Jeff, I'm going to be offering you back a lot of time at the end of this, because I purposely kept this webinar laser focused on these stocks only. I have nothing else I want to show, but where people can make money in AI in the future. Another one is the LOUP ETF. This one is the Innovative Deepwater ETF. It is using AI, and it is proving it to us. Once again, even though I'm not even telling you about them, every single one of these has an algorithm that Wall Street is just killing it. Just killing it. Look at how perfect this algorithm is working. We'll talk about that in my chat room. You can come see me in my trading room. I don't want to waste time on that now. The idea is to give you a whole bunch of plays that will do really well as AI continues to take over the world. And understand, just like the internet age took over Wall Street, so is AI. That is happening. Artificial intelligence is Wall Street right now. So you need to know what to be into for the future. This is for the future, and this algorithm is really, really working well. Let's just crank it up a little bit so you can see how bright it is. Let's see, we'll go to color and style, make that a little thicker, and you can see just how well they're keying off this average. I mean, they absolutely love it. Who cares what it is? Don't worry about that for now. What you care about is the grouping that I'm showing you. And when we get together, we can talk about the averages in my trading. All right, so the next one is LRNZ, and it's .K if you want to look it up on Metastock. Once again, this has not fallen out of this channel. 1 bar spent out of the channel the entire time. That tells you Wall Street is watching, kids. They're paying attention. It dropped out of that geometry. They came right back in and grabbed it, pulled it up. You know what I mean? They're like, no, you don't belong down there. Buy it, everyone. Took it right back up. Because it stayed within the geometry. It was an anomaly day. They took it right back up. Point being, though, that LRNZ is in my grouping of AI stocks that should kill this for you, or ETFs that should kill it for you over the next year. A much cheaper alternative, like everything I have shown you. They're all in the 30s, 40s, some of them at $12, all inexpensive, all highly affordable, especially with options, and all of them will benefit from AI, because when I started checking to see if they would benefit from AI, I started checking here. And look what they've done. I know for a fact that my research is correct. These stocks, ETFs, are benefiting from the AI revolution. There are a few more that I want to make sure you have seen in this presentation. The AI play called Quantum Defiance. Another ETF. This one it's so beautiful. Look at the way it runs up steady. It doesn't have as many gaps, openings much higher and then much lower. So a lot more steady. Wall Street likes this one more so than others. It is $58, so you can see that they're starting to buy it more. Wall Street is watching. This is the AI revolution. It's acting much like the computer age did, the internet. This is the AI. You need to be part of this. So I thought this is more important to get out in this webinar than anything else, because if you've learned nothing else in the last 2 days, you're certainly going to learn a grouping of stocks that you can make some money on for this upcoming revolution. And again, I've done the research, so you don't have to worry whether or not I'm grasping at straws. I've been following these for a long time. I thought I would present them to you now that I've proven them out. Then there's another. The Think Robo Global AI ETF. Omni started liking it all the way back here in October. Once again, October sort of caught my attention on all of these. And it's got a fantastic algorithm. I mean, they don't even let it get through this algorithm. They just jump on it when it gets near it. See that? They don't even let it get through. Again, this isn't about that. I've done those webinars in the past. We can do those. This is about proper stocks or ETFs that you should be in to catch this next wave. Generational wealthy. So OmniCamp is coming soon. If you'd like to join me in my home office, and that is literally my home office where my wife and children live, for 5 days, you go to omnibootcamp.com and fill out an application and a time to speak to me. I will tell you though, if you are going to transfer a system over to somebody, you don't invite them to your home. You know what I mean? You don't invite them to your home where your wife and kids live if it doesn't work. So this is about as real as it gets. If you're interested, you let me know.
This isn't a gimmick. It's not a product. It's a life skill. And teaching people life skills, that's what I did as a Scoutmaster. That's one of these things that Oscar does for us.
Is really Oscar giving us a gift. He's sharing his knowledge so that we may be successful.
Being able to hammer this out in the way that the Omni allows you to really can set another level of freedom.
I know that this is not like just some infomercial. Someone's actually putting work in there, and what most of the people see is just a couple hours on the computer like him, but they don't really know. There's probably not a minute that goes by that he's not thinking about the stock market.
Think, THNQ.K, big, solid, strong, $43 stock. What I love about this the most is how Wall Street just keys off of these algos. They just seem to all be doing it at the same time. All the ETF managers seem to plow in around the same time and get out at the same time, which makes it really easy for us retail guys to figure out what they're doing. And of course, I do that every day of my life. So if you hang out with me at livewithoscar.com in my room, we could discuss these crazy stocks and algorithms and averages and all the stuff that Wall Street uses. By the way, they use so many, the jargon from Wall Street is to trip you up and scare you and make you think that you can't do this. But this is simple enough to do with a good set of eyes and an Omni method. A trading approach doesn't have to be Omni, whatever your trading approach is. The Omni kicks butt, but whatever your trading approach is, you can do this with a good pair of eyes. You do not have to know you do not have to know how much float there is out there. You don't have to know what insiders are doing. You don't have to know any of that. All you need to do is know how to properly read a chart, and you see what Wall Street sees without all the complication. When you bring a complicated system into a complicated market, you're making things more complicated, right? Complication plus complication equals complication. But when you get simple in a complicated market, the clarity is unbelievable. And I've learned from the best pros that you can ever dream of on Wall Street. And they all said the same thing when I was a kid. Oscar, you need to get simple. You're too complicated. You think you're too smart. Well, you know what? They were absolutely right. I learned that lesson in the early 80s. Simplicity is where you get the price movement from. It's where you notice everything. So I keep things as simple as possible. The Omni system that I teach is simple enough to teach the children and powerful enough to run a fund on. It's good stuff. Anyway, so the Think Robo Global ETF is another one of my gems that will fit perfectly in your AI portfolio, especially if you can't afford NVIDIA. And do I have another? No, that's NVIDIA. We've seen that. Let's go. There's probably another couple of them. Oh, yeah. check this one out. This is the WTAI. It's the Wisdom Tree AI Fund. Once again, when Wall Street latches onto an algorithm, boy, do they just make proper use of it. Look at how smart, how simple, and how well you could do if you're trading this algorithm right here. I mean, it gets to it, you're a seller, right? Well, again, we're not doing that. That's not what this is for. This is to show you that Wall Street loves this, and they're easy to follow. So Wall Street is absolutely in love with this, as well as all the others I just showed you, because they are involved in AI. They're making money from AI, and that is our immediate future. AI, it's going to take over the stock market. So I hope these alternatives to high-flying NVIDIA will help you onboard to the AI revolution. And I believe I have one more to show you. If I remember right, I still have one more that I thought was pretty cool. Yes, UBOT. So here's another one. It's called UBOT. I just literally found it right before this webinar. So I didn't have a chance to put labels on it. This belongs in that grouping, UBOT. Let me label it for you now. This guy you can add to the grouping, and that is an AI stock, I believe. This one's a stock, not an ETF. Wall Street is in love with this one. I didn't even bother to figure out its algorithm yet. Doesn't really matter. I'll figure it out when I need to. We'll just cut these out of the way because they're useless. But since October, with the rest of the grouping, Wall Street has been in love with these AI stocks. And I thought, hey, why don't I show this to this crowd? Because if you didn't learn anything else today, you just learned where you can make some money and build a portfolio, which, if you ask me, is really important stuff. So let's look. As you can see, since October, when Omni started liking this, it has gone straight up. Nothing goes straight up. It has gone up with the AI revolution. Nothing goes straight up. We know that, but we're not looking for things to go straight up. We're looking to get involved when they pull back. In this instance, for this webinar, you basically want to put all of those into a portfolio and just let them go. And of course, you can always look through them and see which ones maybe stop performing. But the beauty of what I'm showing you is a lot of them are ETFs. They'll know it's not performing before you will. So that is what I wanted to present to you today. I didn't want to get too fancy and start showing you a whole bunch of things that Omni uses because I don't want to confuse you. I wanted to give you really simple information that you can run with the ball going forward. I hope that helps. If it did help, please come to livewithoscar.com. It's an absolutely free site. You'll log on. In fact, let me just show you really quick how simple this is. If you come to Live with Oscar, you'll end up here. If you have a username, you'll log in. If you don't, you hit register. You fill out a simple, no credit cards are required. You will get an email. It will go to spam. That's the way the world works today. Go to your spam, put the verification code in. You'll end up here at Live with Oscar. You click Oscar's chat room, and you end up here with me where we can converse further. So please make sure you come join, and we can continue this conversation. I am here always, 24 hours a day, except for Sunday. I'm here Sunday, but I study more than I get on my phone. But you can find me here always, always. This is what I do. I live and breathe this stuff. So please make sure you join me. And with that, Jeff, I will give my time back to you. I thank you so much for having me.
Do you mind if we ask you a couple questions?
Absolutely.
First of all, Michael wants to know, what is the time for Live with Oscar? And you know, I like to call it Live with Oscar, right?
So yeah, it's like Live with Oscar. Well, the markets are open 24 hours a day, 6 days a week, and so am I. If markets are open, I am open. I'm always here. The room's always full of people. We trade every day from Sunday night to Friday night.
Also from GoToWebinar, Michael wants to know, are ETFs worthy of consideration like CHAT and IGBT?
Yes, absolutely. If you are looking to onboard onto AI, to the future of AI, because these are young, they're inexpensive, and now Wall Street has proven that AI is the next big thing, right? And if you can't afford a $700–800 stock, go grab some of those ETFs and throw them in your portfolio.
Raymond says, thank you, Oscar. Out of YouTube, Trader SLI says that we should start calling you the Wiz. And if you like it, I mean, I don't know if you want us to call you.
Guys, I've shown you nothing. I literally showed you my 101 kindergarten analysis. I could do that sleeping on a cot with warm milk and cookies. We could get much more intricate, but there's no need to confuse. You guys come out to my Omni camp. I'll show you how to get in and out of these markets with absolute accuracy, how to build a trading plan and then plan the trade and trade the plan. It's what we do every day here. However, that's not going to help you in a half an hour. I want to show you something that'll help.
He actually said nobody beats the Wiz too. So
way to go, man. Thank you, SLA. Appreciate that.
Let's see. Here's an interesting question from Reardon in YouTube. He wants to know if you have a take on the new Bitcoin ETFs.
On the new Bitcoin ETFs?
Yes.
So oddly enough, BTC is doing better than all of them. BlackRock is gaining the most influx of money, but BTC has done the best. It's outperforming Bitcoin because it's doing some mining and it does some trading of its own. So oddly enough, that was the first one, right? And usually that's like the Betamax. It never lasts. Why would the first one hold up? You know, usually we figure out a better box, a delivery box, and we get rid of the first inventions. That one has stuck around, has proven itself, and is getting really big. So I'll have to give that one kudos. You know, that's a very good ETF, if you will. Now, anything BlackRock is going to do in the ETF Bitcoin family is going to work out for you, I promise. Traders, if you haven't noticed, I'm going to show you Bitcoin again real quick for a reason. What you might not have noticed is while Gary Gensler was coming up with rules for Bitcoin, Wall Street didn't know what to do, whether the rules were going to be in their favor or not, so they stayed away. Once the rules were set and Bitcoin was allowed to have ETFs, if you'll notice what happened is Wall Street has spent the last couple of weeks building up steam, figuring out what to do, buying Bitcoin, creating trading plans, and starting to implement them, and look at what you're getting now. Wall Street has been, picture a rocket, building steam. Well, that's what's happening in Bitcoin, and now it's starting to go. It'll never come back. I promise you, it'll never come back to these levels again once it goes. It is going for places that you've never seen. Why? Because Bitcoin was able to hit 65,000 without Wall Street. Now you've got the power of Wall Street. It'll just never come back once it goes. Never, ever. Now that's something you can almost guarantee. It's like the price of gold getting back to $200. It's never going to happen again. Same thing with Bitcoin. You're not going to see that $3,000 mark ever again. You know what I mean? Those days are over.
Keith wants to know how you find your securities to play with.
You know, I spend every weekend, well, a typical Sunday for me is about 12 hours of study before I even hit the charts. Then about 4 hours of chart analysis to get ready for Monday or Sunday night to Monday, which I sort of do every single evening. I'm just always looking. I'm always looking. I have no particular scan. I use my eyes. I see what's moving and I put it off to the side, make a list and keep following it. That list I just showed you in Metastock, that list right here, was a list of 30, which got narrowed down to about 10. The 10 that I think worked really well.
We have a couple people that are asking if your year-end projections are out yet.
My year-end projection is absolutely done. In fact, if I felt like grabbing it, I could go right here and show it to you. I'll do it real fast. There it is. Yes, my year-end projection is out. What I haven't done with it is I haven't given it to the public. What I was hoping for was that a fund or a family office would come to see me and say, Oscar, you know what? We could do some real good with that year-end call. Why don't we put it to work in this specific fund? And then I would help them gear the fund for my year-end call for the year. So I haven't put it out yet to the public for that reason. It's only February. If a fund or an office comes to me and says, Oscar, you've been right for 16 years or 14 out of 16. We'll take that call. I'm trying to keep it preserved for them for now. It will go public soon, though, if that doesn't happen.
All right. Should we use emotions or stops?
Well, let's see. Can we? I might be able to answer that in a chart. Let's see. That chart could be here. Let's go look. If I got this right, it should be somewhere down here. Is it on the bottom of NVIDIA? No. I'm going to find you a chart to answer that question. I know we have. Is it on the bottom of chart 4? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Here's what I say to that. Stops are in, emotions are out. Dudes, no emotions. Put your stops in and go like this.
I'm pretty sure I have that on a T-shirt somewhere.
I'll bet you do. I've sent enough of them out.
Let's see. Carlos wants to know, do you think you should get in Bitcoin now or wait for a pullback?
So, problem with waiting for the next pullback is they may never be one. Yes, you always want to buy pullbacks. I always wait for pullbacks to get long. So yes, that would be my advice. The problem is if we are in that mode where they finally have come up with enough plans and are ready to go, you know what I mean? You've seen where markets go and don't come back for a few years, right? I think we're almost ready to do that in Bitcoin. So be careful. Make sure you at least have some.
Okay.
Again, there are many ETFs now that you can choose, and you can spend more money on that ETF to get a lot more shares than the little piece of Bitcoin that you might spend 30 grand on now, right? So maybe you want to jump on those ETFs instead. Nothing will move as quickly as Bitcoin, although GBTC has been proving to be better than Bitcoin, but nothing will move as quickly as Bitcoin. You certainly want to own the cash Bitcoin if you can afford it. If not, go grab some of those ETFs. Over time, you'll be glad you did.
Tom asks, well, he says, great presentation. I don't disagree. He says, if I want to use options, how far out would be a good start?
On Bitcoin?
I don't know exactly.
So I had a 5-year plan, literally mapped out that Bitcoin would make it to 85,000. There's 2 years, 5 months left. At the end of this month, that'll be changed to a 5. So within 2 years, I expect it to be at 85. However, Wall Street got approved a little sooner than I expected, so I'll bet we hit 85 before the end of this year. I'm assuming we'll get there this year instead of next year. At least that's the way it looks like it's going to go. So what would you do? Buy options for like 9, 12 months out, and I think you're going to get what you're looking for.
All right, and then last question. Robin says, do the new AI algos work just as well as on futures as they do on stocks?
In fact, yes. So you got to realize that all these new stocks, this new AI, and the new crypto stuff is relatively new to trading, right? We've had sectors forever. These are new sectors, and yes, they're not only working well with the algorithms, they're like clockwork. It's almost like the whole street goes in at once. So the answer is unequivocally yes. Going back to that options question, you know, you can always sell puts to enter into Bitcoin if you want to get in as well, right? You can always do something like that. Sell calls, sell puts, depending upon if you want to be long or short. So you can always do that too. And if you get lucky and you don't get filled, you'll make money on the premium decrease. And if you get what you wanted, you'll still get in anyway at your price. So you may want to use options to get in if you're looking to get in now.
All right. Metastock says stop emotions. Trader FLA says the train has left the station on BTC. And Jay Reardon says, how about the BTC halving in 57 days? So,
say again?
Jay Reardon said, what about Bitcoin halving in 57 days?
Now, do you understand what halving means?
I do
They're
not
not
know.
going to have the price of Bitcoin. All right, so in order to have a Bitcoin transaction, you need to come up with a really, really, really big mathematical equation, long number. That's called mining. So every time you're going to do a transaction using anything, Bitcoin or any crypto, there's got to be mining involved. When you mine and mine and mine, come up with that big number, the transaction goes through, you get a piece of Bitcoin for doing that mathematical equation and coming up with that number. The amount of Bitcoin that you get for each transaction will be halved, not the Bitcoin itself. The rewards from mining will be halved. What they're doing is making less and less Bitcoin, so that we can stop having Bitcoin when there's 28 million of them, or whatever the year is that we're going to have 28 million of them, and there'll be no Bitcoin left. So you got to start slowing down on the generation of Bitcoin so that all the math fits in the last year of Bitcoin mining and it's over. So you got to start having the amount of Bitcoin that's getting created for doing the money.
Sounds like that's a decrease in supply to me.
Exactly. So for traders who still don't own Bitcoin, you do understand fine art out there, right? A Renoir, something of that nature. Well, let's say you knew Mr. Bitcoin, we'll just call him Mr. Bitcoin, and he's got a window, a storefront, and he paints beautiful paintings, and every time you walk past, you can buy a painting from Mr. Bitcoin for $53,000. Well, what happens the day Mr. Bitcoin dies and can't make any more paintings? What happens to those paintings? What do you think happens to those paintings? Jeff, what's your answer to that?
I was answering a question in chat.
The answer is the price will go up because they've just become rare and there are no more. Well, that's Bitcoin. It's one of the only cryptocurrencies invented smart enough to know
Supply goes down.
you've got to have a finite amount of Bitcoin so it stops mining at a certain point and then explodes in price. Brilliant.
Awesome. Oscar, thank you very much for joining us. That's it. Everybody, great presentation. Really appreciate everything you do for us. You're great. We appreciate everything. Thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you so much. And remember, traders, stops are in, emotions are out. Put your stops in and keep your fingers off the keyboard when you're in a position. Thank you so much for joining, or at least allowing me to join your session. Thank you for watching. Have a great, great trading week. I hope those ETFs help you make money in the future.
Thank you so much, Oscar. Really appreciate it.
Thank you,
All right.
sir.
Very cool. Let's go ahead and kind of we did actually sit down and we recorded some training with Oscar, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. And we always love having Oscar, and he does such a great job. So let me go ahead and make me the presenter here, and I'll go ahead and show the screen. We sat down a few years ago, and I said, hey, Oscar, I'd love to create a training class with you. And what can we talk about? And obviously, as you see, one of the things that Oscar does super well, probably better in English than I am. One of the things that he does super well is actually identifying where to put in trend line placements, looking at technical formations and all that kind of stuff. So we sat down and he did 3 hours of instruction on how he would recommend that you draw up a chart. So he talks about trend lines, he talks about drawing up support and resistance, he talks about technical formations, and in total it's about 3 hours of instruction, as I've just read. So that class is available for you right away. It's available as an instant download. You can buy it. It'll be available for you on our website. It's not a download. It's actually streamed off of our website, but it'll be available for you. Here at the conference today, we're going to do a price of $349 as our conference special. I thought that was misspelled for a minute. You can get it. You can take advantage of getting that at 800-882-3040. You can also chat in with us at metastock.com/sales-chat, and you can also go to metastock.com/comp-promo. And if you enjoyed what you just saw, he does a really good job. I remember we sat down and we did this on like a Saturday morning, and I was sitting there taking notes. You'll want to take notes too, but it's only $349, 800-882-3040, metastock.com/sales-chat, or metastock.com/comp-promo. Couple comments. Good job as always, Oscar. Thank you. Huge, Dan, huge look behind the curtain. So anyway, we always love having Oscar in. Let me go ahead and kind of send these over to chat. The emotions are out. Stops are in. Oscar is out. Yeah, thanks again, Oscar.